Great in and out dribble. Oh! He set off the smoke detector.
You crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your
Jaylen
Brown.
Lightning before the Thunder was the story of the night. Jaylen Brown's worst game of the season. Payton Pritchard, Sam Hauser gave you no help off the bench. Refs swallowed their whistles, and just too many damn threes. What's up, everyone, and welcome in to your Celtics source, home of your 43-19 second place Boston Celtics. Where do we even start in this one? I think we have to start with just the defense that the Thunder displayed tonight. Right? I knew their defense was good. We saw it when the Celtics played them last game back in January, where the Thunder just really stole the game in the second half. And really it was the same thing tonight, except the defense was there the whole game. Right? Celtics were trying, hunt different guys. They couldn't even pick just one guy to go at. They tried going at Shea a couple times. He was on clamps for most of the night. They would swing the ball around, and the Celtics couldn't even get a clean shot because the Thunder were so quick in rotation that they would have a guy out there every single time, right? And that's one. They couldn't even get into the paint. I mean, right? They took 63 threes tonight. Like, they made 20 of them. Like, 31%. Like, that's the fact that they were even in this game for so long is incredible, right? I actually give credit to the Celtics for being able to, fight through this. This was a awful game from Jaylen Brown, an awful game from Payton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, which we'll talk about, all three of them. But Jayson Tatum, having to work for everything because none of his teammates could help him out in that second half. Right? They were trying to swing the ball around, get open shots, and there'd be two hands in the face of any shot they took. And, Jaylen Brown, I guess we'll talk about him now, right? Like, he was trying to get into the paint and, trying to bully his way in. And he said it after the game. He just wasn't physical enough. But I disagree. I think he was very physical. He just could not get through that, back line and to the rim. Like, he had a couple turnovers in this game. But yeah, he had 6 turnovers. He only had 2 turnovers. But I think he had a lot more where, just a bad shot that isn't really a turnover, but still throwing it up, just trying to hope it goes in, right? He was just, out of sorts tonight. And I don't know if it was just his knee injury that he's been dealing with, or just it was, one bad night for him. I'm not going to buy too much into it because over the last couple of weeks, he's been playing really well, and this is just one of those games where I think it's going to be hard for Jaylen Brown because it's one of the few teams in the league where Jaylen Brown can't win on just physicality. He has other ways to win. I'm not saying like he's going to always struggle against a team like this. But, OKC was, slapping him in the arm, fouling him a couple times, but, they don't call those kind of fouls in a game where, OKC starts off physical and they don't call things, and so the Celtics are forced to, also respond physically and fight through it, and that, doesn't help the Celtics. You wonder if it was a different officiating crew, maybe there'd be a couple more fouls called on the Thunder and less on the Celtics, right? Jaylen Brown did foul out of this game. A couple early fouls that were the correct fouls. They were good calls. Right? Jaylen Brown threw Shea to the ground once when Jayson Tatum was taking a 3. Or maybe it was Chet that was taking a 3 and Jaylen Brown trying to box out Shea, so it throws him to the ground and gets a foul. But then on the end, those last 2 fouls that Jaylen Brown get to, actually knock him out of the game, those were not good calls, right? Those were just feel like makeup calls almost, like little ticky-tack fouls that are just, you gotta let those go based on how the game was going. But, like, I don't even know if they were fouls, to be honest, let alone small, little, insignificant fouls. But, that's just how it went. And Shea, I mean, he is just a foul baiter. Like, every little, flick on the arm, he would flop to the ground and throw it up, and they were falling for him tonight. Like, Steph Curry, like, fouled on the ground, throwing it up, and it's still somehow going in. They had, I think it was one play towards the end of the game where, you know, they didn't call the foul, thankfully, but, he feels just a little tap on the shoulder as he's driving by from White, and he just falls to the ground and throws it up. Luckily, they didn't call anything, but, like, just, he should have gotten a flopping foul for that, but obviously they're not going to give a flopping foul to one of the best players in the league. But still, like, it's incredible what he does. He's like, you thought James Harden was one of those foul baiters when he back in his prime. Shea's at a whole different level. I mean, he just, every little thing, he's on the ground, and he doesn't complain about it too. So he keeps getting those. Whereas, Jayson Tatum has had a little bit of history complaining about some of those no calls, and so now he gets even less calls. Whereas Shea, he's quiet about it, and so refs continue to give him the benefit of the doubt. And a lot of makeup calls on him tonight, like, right, like this. The refs thought they made a mistake calling a foul on the Celtics, and so they would just go down and call a random foul to even it out, which is really annoying. But, like, the refs, they were not the reason that the Celtics lost this game tonight, right? The Celtics put it on themselves. Like, yes, the Oklahoma City defense was just unpenetrable, but, like, I feel like Joe Mazzulla could have done a better job of finding ways for the Celtics to get into the paint and stop taking uncontested, or stop taking contested threes. Like, I don't blame the Celtics for the threes they took because they didn't have another option based on what they were, based on how the defense, Oklahoma City defense was playing. But, like, if they could have, got some more cuts to the back, along the baseline, some more, guys flying through the paint instead of all standing around on the outside, I feel like they could have gotten a little bit more paint, touches, a little bit more shots that are somewhat easier. Although, based on how OKC was playing with Hartenstein and Chet at the in the center, sort of guarding the rim at all times, it was hard to get in there as well. But they don't do any of that. Whether that's just Joe, I don't even know, like, why, like, how Joe Mazzulla couldn't think of anything to change it up and let them just play like that all game. Maybe he's saving stuff for the playoffs, but I don't think he is. So, he plays Jayson Tatum 41 minutes, right? He plays Brown, Derrick White 38, 37. So, like, I don't know. And then it also doesn't help that, Payton Pritchard, just a awful game from him, right? And he plays 25 minutes, scores just 8 points on, 2 of 9 from three. I don't know what it is, right? Like, he just had that huge 43-point game, but it seems like against, these good teams, he's just not playable, which is, unfortunate because, like, that means you really don't have bench. I mean, he's sort of the same as we saw last time in the playoffs. Like, he just struggles when he's, playing against good teams. And then, Sam Hauser, right? Only 11 minutes, just 3 points, 1 of 4 from three. So maybe it's still his, injury. I don't know, but Joe Mazzulla didn't trust going to him for very long, which is interesting after the game he had against the Jazz. But you know, he actually was a +6 in just his 11 minutes, whereas, everyone else was a minus. The big Jaylen Brown, Derrick White. Derrick White was fantastic in this game. Right, 6 of 12 from three, 7 of 14 overall. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, only 3 turnovers, 3 blocks. The block that he had on Chet Holmgren was unbelievable. Just doing Derrick White things. But him and Jayson Tatum were the only two guys that were efficient enough. Al Horford, I mean, he was also great. I forgot to mention him. We have to talk about him, right? Another big game. Al Horford's going to show up. 6 of 12 from three. He kept them alive in that first quarter. Got their lead. Got them back in the game after OKC went up. It was like 11-0 or something like that. But continuing to just use his physicality to box out Chet and other guys. 10 rebounds in the night, 6 assists, 18 points. Just a fantastic game from Al Horford. He had 2 blocks as well. This is a game where we were missing KP, and Al Horford did his best he could to keep us in the game. But if we don't have KP to box out Chet for the entire time, Chet got a couple putback dunks. Luke had a nice putback dunk as well, but Chet had a great, a lot of opportunities to give OKC second chances, and you just can't do that against this team. So the Celtics are badly missing KP right now, and it's it's hurting them right now, and so you hope he's gonna be back soon. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Easier games now. I don't think we have another big game the rest of the season. Nets and Heat this weekend. I don't know if I'll be able to do reactions to them because I am going away traveling as well for this weekend, looking at some colleges down in Virginia area. But I will do, I'll probably do reaction next week though to different games and just how the mood and vibes are going around the Celtics right now. But yeah, a tough loss. OKC is 2-0 against this team. We're not going to see them again till the finals, and OKC is going to be favored in the finals if we were to get there. So yeah. Until next time, go Celtics.
It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured.